Hey guys, Massimo here. I want to talk to you about my Suzuki V-Strom 650 Adventure. I want to answer the question, is the V-Strom an adventure bike? I called it that because Suzuki calls the bike I have the Adventure Edition. That's the one that comes with the crash bars and the hard panniers, the side cases, and a different windscreen. It's got quite a reputation as an adventure bike. People have really taken a liking to the V-Strom, and it has quite a following in the adventure community. I know it's not a KTM, I know it's not a BMW GS. It's a 90% street bike, I admit that. But it is an adventure bike, and I want to make a case for it in this video. How is it an adventure bike? Well, we can say it's certainly not a dual sport bike. I would never claim that, and I would never claim it's a dirt bike. Obviously, it's mostly a street bike, but it is capable of handling dirt roads very well, and even more extreme riding than that. I think it can handle 4x4 only roads, and I've ridden those kind of roads, and it handles it just fine. Well, let me address the question how a V-Strom is different from a pure street bike, because it's not a pure 100% street bike either. Well, it's somewhat of a lighter bike. It's 472 pounds curb weight according to Suzuki, and that is the basic edition without the crash bars or the side cases or anything else. It has a 19-inch front wheel. Why does it have a 19-inch front wheel? Street bikes have 17-inch front wheels. Well, most dual sport bikes have a 21-inch front wheel, just like dirt bikes. So it's a compromise to have the 19. It's right in the middle between the 17-inch and the 21-inch. Ground clearance, it's 6.9 inches. It's not as much as the KLR, which is a little over 10 inches, I believe, but it's more than the average street bike. Suspension travel is 6.3 inches in the rear and 5.9 inches in the front, about an inch roughly more than a typical street bike. The riding position is very neutral. It does allow you for standing while you're riding, and it's got a good carrying capacity, good wind protection. It's a good bike, a comfortable bike to take on long adventure trips. That's what an adventure bike is for. It's not for riding around a motocross track or going extreme off-roading. It's made for going on long trips where you're not sure the quality of the roads you're going to be on. Sometimes you will be taking gravel roads and so on, and it can handle it just fine. Look at those views, man. It's so awesome. If I can do that, I can pretty much do anything as long as it's still some semblance of a road.
So it's interesting to finally meet up with Greg from the Facebook KLR Owners Group. We are pretty much neighbors. Probably live, I don't know, a mile and a half from each other. And we kept not being able to ride together for one reason or another. And this was kind of a spur of the moment. I texted him and said, hey, are you up for a ride to Placitas? And he said he was good with that. And so we're here. And yeah, the KLR's perfectly at home on this road. And it's not difficult at all. It's just bumpy enough to make it interesting. A few little ruts here and there. Well, they really smoothed this road out. When I first started coming here, it was a lot rougher. Especially going down into those ravines. Used to be a lot of rocks. Just cruising along in second gear. There's a parking lot up that way with some restrooms, some trailheads. Man, nasty dust. Oh yeah, that's the smoothest that ravine's ever been. Look at those ruts. That wasn't there before. Now we get the view of the high mesas. What a view, what a view. So awesome. You can see Cabazon now. That volcanic core, or plug, whatever they call it. I felt my ABS come on there. Yeah, this bike's heavier than the KLR, so it takes a little more to slow it down. It's not that much heavier though. I think it's only 50 pounds heavier. And I've got the big crash guards and a big skid plate and a top box on it, and the luggage rear racks for the side cases. So it's got a little more weight than the stock, but it actually might be more than 50 pounds. Fun little trail, man. That's the best place to get started riding a KLR on dirt.